laser brain.
Why'd you say it 3 times?
I think it was when you said it was on. It really wasn't.
It was on.
It
It
was.
gets a little dumb notification that pops up and gets in the way every time. I complain about it. Okay.
I'm just gonna do this for 45 minutes.
There's only 2 of us, so you only say laser brains twice.
I know, but I'm stunned.
Mm-hmm. What else you got?
Not much. Guess what we're doing? I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Bark, bark, bark. See that space dog?
Show the back. I like that one better.
Oh yeah, jeez. Ready? Now, anybody who doesn't want nightmare fuel,
Nightmare
turn away.
fuel. Nightmare fuel.
I thought this was a positive channel.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea we were allowed to crack on each other.
You crack on me all the time.
Not on video.
Yes, you do.
Liar.
Our very first video is you yelling at me.
Yelling, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that dog.
Woof, woof, woof.
All right. Can you imagine you go into the set and they don't have the lights on yet and you see that?
They say you gotta get on the dog.
Get on the dog, Jumba.
So,
You didn't really see the thing.
you gonna tell us about the movie?
Well, we spun the wheel. That I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the NeverEnding Story popped up. I think it was a James Bond movie that popped up, and you guys begged for a veto again.
No, that was with the movie last night.
Oh.
We actually just spun this, and we were like, okay, and then we watched it.
Uh-huh.
Nobody used their veto. Nobody complained. Because I've heard of it. That's about as far as I got.
So I was around during the time this movie came out.
Mm-hmm. What, in like the prehistoric age? Or
83, 84, 85, I don't remember. And I avoided it then.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've seen it, I should have avoided it now.
I knew the song from Stranger Things.
Everybody knows the song. I don't know Stranger Things, but I know it because of Giorgio Moroder.
Well, don't you remember when him and that
And
girlfriend
Lamar.
were singing it?
They were?
Yeah.
I've only seen those once. I need to rewatch.
You probably need to. That was kind of a big one.
Can we get that on disc?
Stranger Things? I don't know. Isn't it Netflix?
What season was it?
It wasn't the first one.
Netflix is making me watch commercials now.
I don't know if it's 2 or 3 where that happened.
1 and 2, I've got the set of discs, and then they stopped making them.
I know it's not season 1. I can say that for certain. May not be season 2.
Well, then I'm SOL.
I'm thinking 3. I got my money on 3.
All right.
Because it was the one. What's the newest one? Tell me.
8?
Is it really?
No.
Okay, what's the newest
I think
one?
it's 4.
Okay, then it was probably 3. I think that they sung the NeverEnding.
A lot of people
Stories
are
on.
waiting for 5 to come out.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the last one.
Think so?
That's what I was told. I've seen some pretty cool theories.
I'll bet you right now.
What, have they confirmed for more?
No.
Okay.
It'll be the last season, and then when the
Something
rest of
will
those
happen.
kids shit to bed, suddenly they'll want to do a one-off movie.
They
Like
could do-
Stranger Things Reborn.
You know, it'd be cool if they came back as adults.
Or I think they're going to age them up in this last one.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know if that'll work, but
I thought at the end of the you know what, I'm not gonna, we can't get into a Stranger Things talk right now.
what about Even Stranger Things, the movie?
There you go. You know, I think
Don't steal that, that's my title.
they should call you.
It's too late.
Oh.
I've already copyrighted it.
Well, they should call you and then offer you money for it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Hello?
that's what I'm saying.
Duffer Brothers? Whoever the fuck?
It's the Duffer Brothers.
Call me. Call me. Cash me.
Okay, but I know that song.
Cash App.
I never heard that song until from that show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, this is...
What else do you know about Giorgio Moroder?
I don't know the name you're saying.
Really?
I don't.
Okay.
You think I know names for some reason? I never do.
Well, that's a pretty big name in the music business.
Not really.
Okay.
I don't know a lot of things. I don't know names of actors very well. I don't know.
Pin this clip. I want to use it.
I know.
I want to make a meme.
I don't know. Oh, you're so old. I'm gonna make a meme.
I want to make it tic-tac.
I want to go on TikTok and make a meme.
Tic-tac.
Anything to say
NeverEnding.
about the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is a kid's movie.
It is.
And not only is it a kids movie, it's a super kids movie
Hmm.
because boy did I struggle to even pay attention to this.
Do you want to hear my little secret?
You went to sleep?
I did fall asleep for, I think, a good chunk of the movie. I
Then
remember
why are you here?
I, well, because I got the gist of it.
Okay.
I did the first part, I fell asleep, and then I got like near the end. Good chunk of the end. So
Well,
I sandwiched it.
did you notice like 20 minutes in, I said, hey, should we pull the plug?
Yeah,
And you went, no, I'm watching it.
well, because it's not as bad as like a movie about butlers, or that was one of the
Butlers.
things we rolled, and
Oh, was it?
I wanted
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah,
used my
yeah.
veto on
Remains
it.
of the Day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I thought it was gonna be better than the alternative.
So the story is pretty lousy, and it's sort of a ripoff of like the Page Master or something like that. You have one kid who is reading a book, and then the book sort of comes to life because he's reading the whole story. He sort of becomes part of the story.
do you,
How would you describe?
do you want to hear some of the? I can do a vague description of what I remember.
Okay.
Start of the movie, the kid is getting bullied.
Actually, no. He's eating
Yeah. Well,
cornflakes.
yeah, I'm doing like a general.
And Major Dad says, "Hey, your mom's dead. So what?
The reason
Keep
that
keep moving on."
the reason the kid getting bullied is important because that comes back at the end. Is why I'm mentioning it.
Oh, right.
So the three kids are bullying him, telling him to get in the dumpster, and at some point he gets out, and they're like, "You can't get out of the dumpster." So they start chasing him, and he hides out in like it's like a strip mall kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
There was
yeah,
a bunch
yeah,
of
yeah.
shops.
Bookstore.
He jumped. Well, I'm saying he hops into one of the buildings to hide from the kids. There's some old guy at a bookstore, and he's all crabby.
And Krabby and maybe a red flag or two popped up.
Oh, that's the first thing I thought too. He was getting awfully close to that kid when he was
It was
like,
kind of
"Guys,
weird.
you got a book, and you ever feel safe reading? Do you ever you go back to being a kid?" He did this whole speech.
So that, and what you're saying is a broader theme of this movie is
Mm-hmm.
how,
The kid is reading as escapism.
but I'm talking about the whole movie in general is very surface.
Yeah.
For a high concept movie,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the very beginning where he's eating the cornflakes and the dad comes in with the exposition. Your mom's dead, but we gotta buck up and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you're skipping math class, and the kid
Yeah.
goes, "Okay, I'll go to math class." And goes, "That's what I want to hear." And then he ran out the door, and then that's almost it for the real world.
Not really.
Really,
Not really.
really.
He's reading the book in the. So, let me continue where I left off. Crotchety old guy. The old guy is giving a speech about, oh, the book I'm reading, you can't read this because it's dangerous. Ooh.
What does that mean?
He left it kind of vague. But the kid stole the book, said he was going to bring it back. He, like, left a note.
Right.
And he got to school late because he was being chased by those bullies. They already started the math class. He just locks himself in this weird. It's a closet, but then it's like
Weirdest, weirdest room I've ever seen in a school.
yeah,
It reminded me of
like a barn.
that movie *Malignant*.
I haven't seen
Remember
that one.
when the chick there was some guy in a trench coat
Mm-hmm.
and a hat, and his secret lair was in this house. And you look at the outside of the house, and then this room is like the size of 8 houses, and it's supposed to be the attic. That's how this room looked like. There's no way behind that door that size of it. Looked like a barn almost.
That's what I just said 2 seconds
What'd you say?
ago. I said it looked like a barn.
You said that?
Yeah, and then you talked over me. So
Oh,
I think I just implanted that into your brain.
maybe. But it
Yeah.
did look like a barn.
It looked like a barn.
And it looked ridiculous.
It was supposed to be like a janitor's closet, I think, but then it was like a barn.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
When we talk about overcrowding in schools, you could have fit 3 classrooms in that room.
Possibly 4.
I already said 5.
I said 6.
You talked over me
You did talk over me.
when I said 5.
Do you remember what we learned in that video?
No.
Tom, you're talking over me. How to deal with difficult people.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I think you should. We watched a whole. We watched. It was one of the Red Letter Media things,
Oh, I've heard of that show.
and we watched. It's one of the ones we were talking about. I said, "Why don't I look up and see if it's on YouTube?" And it was, and we watched the whole thing, and it was actually really fun. And one of them was that's how you're supposed to deal with interrupters. Say their name and you're interrupting me. You basically interrupt them back. What I got. It's good stuff.
Is that for interrupting or cutting someone off
People
and dismissing their idea?
who talk over you. So
Well, that happens in any discussion.
blah 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 blah, and the other guys will go blah 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 blah. Excuse me, you're interrupting me.
It's because if you're talking and then
Stop trying to defend the video. I mean, you don't
because
even remember
it would be like ba 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 ba, and then I pause and you're waiting. Is he done? Do I speak? And then I go rah rah rah.
See,
rah,
your
rah,
problem is you don't believe that people just talk over you as a form of disrespect in some circumstances.
Maybe in some
I
circumstances.
think they're talking about in the workplace is dealing with difficult people.
But I'm not used to anybody being disrespectful.
I think it's people in the workplace.
Very rare for me.
Oh yeah, I bet.
It is very rare.
Mm-hmm. What are we even talking about? We're
Never
talking about the
Ending
barn.
Story.
Yeah.
The ridiculous room, and because once he gets in the barn and starts reading the book, you sort of become in the book. The room made absolutely no difference where the kid was.
The problem is you're kind of jumping ahead here.
No, it's a
At
book.
first, he's just reading the story and he's very engaged with the story.
That happens quick, bro.
Yeah, he's just engaged with the story. And then a little bit later, it's sort of supposed to be the plot twist reveal that the people in the story are aware of him on the outside reading.
But you know what's funny? You say that, but within 1 minute, I knew the people inside the book.
It's a kid's movie.
I knew immediately. We're looking for a magic warrior. I went, oh shit.
No, the magic warrior was that kid with the long hair.
But he wasn't. He was really just an avatar for the kid reading the book.
Well,
Listen, you slept through it. You have no clue what I'm talking about.
That was supposed to be a plot twist.
Sarah,
It was supposed to be a plot
Devin X, you're
You're
talking
interrupting
over me.
I wasn't, but okay. I'm doing it as a sign of disrespect towards you.
That I believe. So, what can we say positive? You try to say something positive. There was some interesting
I like
visuals.
the duty puppet.
The duty puppet.
He's great.
It was kind of weird.
But he was great. He's
But-
a nice guy.
So there was like a couple of characters you meet right away, like a guy who's supposed to be a ripoff of the Mad Hatter, but they never
Yeah.
did anything with him.
I think that was supposed to kind of like have you dip your toes into the fantasy world.
There was one guy that looked like a turd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And then there was a big rock monster that was driving looked like
Rock
something out of the
mobile?
Flintstones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's supposed to crush everybody, but turns out he's a cool dude.
Well, they're all going to this meeting to figure out. They're basically expositioning each other. There's this thing that's
Right.
disappearing parts of our world, and we're all
Right.
gathered together to go to this meeting to figure out what's going on. And when they go to the meeting, they find out, oh, the princess or whatever, the queen is sick, and that's causing the nothing.
Empress, I think.
Empress is her being sick is causing things to just disappear. They need a warrior. Some kid shows up and they're like, "You're just a kid," and he's like, "Well, then I'll leave." And they're like, "No, we need you."
So that was another problem with that. That was a ripoff of Excalibur. They sort of did whoever can pull the sword out of the stone bit.
Did they?
They did.
I thought they just called the guy.
No. He was the only one who could lift the sword out of the rock.
Oh, lame.
Right. It's a derivative of
Yeah.
Excalibur. And the guy who was the Mad Hatter was a derivative.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of taking a bunch of famous stuff and then making it super lame.
Yeah. Well, it was.
And the other thing I was thinking when you're looking at this, those choose your own adventure books were huge at this time.
So this was kind of.
That's what that felt like, a choose your own adventure.
Except you didn't get to choose your own adventure.
Well, the kid did.
Yeah, I guess. But so that happened. He sends this kid on a quest to go get this guy. I can't. Was it like the
I don't even
tortoise
know.
thing? Wasn't it the turtle thing?
I couldn't tell you what he was doing.
He had to go. They said, "Oh, if you talk to the turtle guy, he'll tell you." And then he was like, "I don't know what to do."
Again, it was basically a kind of a lame version of Homer's Odyssey,
Mm-hmm.
where he goes on this quest until you finally get to the wizard behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm. The wizard sent him off somewhere else.
No, the
That's
wizard
where
I'm saying is the Empress.
that's where I fell asleep.
And the Empress was awkward.
Yeah. Well,
And
she
I'm
was
not even
also a
sure she was
kid.
in a movie.
Yeah. Well, she was very. We're in a story. You're not. You got to think about this in the fourth dimension.
And basically, what it boiled down to is kids aren't reading enough anymore, so all of these stories are going to disappear.
Oh, is that what I was supposed to get from that?
Yes.
I gotta be
You were
honest.
supposed to
I was
understand
struggling.
read more book.
Read more book. You didn't even talk about the end of the story.
That's the end of the story. That's the big reveal.
No, the whole thing is they need.
The kid was the warrior.
Yeah, they ended up needing the kid to choose the Empress's new name.
Which made no sense.
Yeah. Here's something. Also, you left the fan on. That's probably.
I know, but gee, it's 100 degrees today.
You needed to pick a new name, and then they kind of have this heart-to-heart and like black void. She's like, you can have as many wishes as you want.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he was like, I've got a wish. And then he wanted to ride the duty puppet.
Right.
And then he ended up terrorizing the bullies with the duty puppet.
That was his second wish, was to terrorize the bullies from the beginning of the movie. And by the way, they barely bullied him. They chased him into a trash can.
Yeah.
It was sort of the cheesiest bullying I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then everybody had the same thought that was watching with us.
Mm-hmm.
You can have any wish you want and you don't wish your mom back alive?
Yeah.
That, like, huh? Revenge?
Maybe there's like, maybe that was a lesson we were also supposed to get. Like, he finally has the power to bring his mother back, and
turned out he
instead
probably
he wants
killed
revenge.
her. That's why he didn't wish her back.
He was probably like, what's that one, Herman Melville? The one with the whale. What's his name?
Herman Melville.
Captain.
That was Moby Dick is by Herbie Melville?
Yeah. Herman Melville? Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I thought that was a Dr. Seuss book.
You'd be wrong. What's your favorite Dr.
So what?
Seuss
So now let's grasp your point. What has to do with Moby Dick? I see what you're saying. You're saying
I'm saying
he was injured by them, so he is on a relentless pursuit to.
Exactly. All he wants is revenge, as opposed to bringing back the dead.
Right.
That's what.
And that's far too clever for this movie. There's no way anybody was thinking that.
Well, it's a kids' movie. I was kind of making a joke because that's a really like deep topic.
And this is rated PG.
I'm like, that must have been what they were going for this whole time. No, the read more book thing makes more sense.
So, FYI for a movie, if the very first frame of the movie is the very popular pop song, you know they thought the movie was boring because they jump right into that tune instantly. Not even like Ghostbusters did that. They first had a little scene and then hit you with the Ghostbusters song.
Exactly.
This one, they're like, here's the song.
Yeah, and then
you can leave now.
Again. And there wasn't really any other music.
Not any. There were, if you listen closely, it was sort of an orchestral version of that song throughout the whole movie.
I wasn't paying attention enough.
Well, you went to sleep.
I fell asleep around the duty puppet. I think that's where it happened.
So, how does this movie? Because if you mention this movie to somebody, even your generation, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've seen it, but they're aware that there's a movie called NeverEnding Story.
I feel like I needed to see it because I was telling you guys that I heard somebody referencing the movie and I didn't really know it was from the movie, and then I watched the movie and I'm like, oh, I get the thing they were referencing now.
And I wouldn't have got that.
The Swamp of Sadness?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got that because I refused to watch this movie when it was new.
Yeah.
And I will never watch this movie again.
I probably won't watch it again. But it's nice, now I'm in on the joke.
But if you want to see what we're talking about, you can buy this very thing.
$500.
All you need is a Cash App to get this sent to you. And you're going to need a Laserdisc player.
Yeah, we don't have one of those for you. We have one for me. That's it. Get it? Okay.
I didn't use one.
What?
Will these fit in a regular DVD player?
You know what? Let's sell it to somebody and have them try for us.
Okay, well, you heard it.
I don't have
The gauntlet has been thrown down.
I don't have a DVD player, so they're gonna have to test it for us.
Oh, so sad.
No, I technically do if you count the Xbox One. But...
I do count that.
Okay, then I do have a DVD player.
Not only that, that has a 4K player on it, so you are set.
Okay.
It plays music CDs, and DVDs, and Blu-rays, and 4Ks, and I don't know what else. Games themselves. See, I think it plays CDRs too.
You don't know?
Yeah, well, you wanted to know. You asked me.
I didn't ask for that. I gotta be honest.
So I'm gonna give this movie a 3 buttholes down.
I usually give movies like this a D or a C, because I would probably never watch it again.
Well, the problem is, this is for kids, but there were some moments there that were probably a little too scary for kids.
Yeah, the horse dying.
Or when just that rock monster was, even though he was sort of friendly, he was still a little bit kind of crazy looking.
Yeah. Oh, they were all crazy looking. The duty pup is crazy looking.
He is, but his sort of attitude was friendly enough that you would. He's got the big doe eyes. So.
He was willing to go terrify 3 kids on a whim.
To be fair, he probably didn't know what they were doing until after it had happened.
Uh-huh.
And he probably ate the kid for doing it.
There you go.
That's in book 2.
Yeah.
Yes, and
there is a sequel.
Not only do I know there's a sequel, but at the end of this movie, they clumsily shoehorn in well, this is only the first chapter.
Yeah, well, I know they have a sequel because we have it on our list. So
we do?
We maybe...
There is a NeverEnding Story 2 up there?
Yep. So we might get a chance to revisit
Talk
the
about
NeverEnding Story. I think there's only 2. I don't...
Well, how can the NeverEnding Story have a NeverEnding Story Part 2?
Are you going to redo the joke you did when we first started watching the movie?
What?
But it's never ending.
That
How
was
can
the
there
joke?
Be 2?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See? It's automatic. I can't take credit really for that joke because there's a wonderful Simpsons joke where that lawyer in that show is suing this movie because it did end.
And it wasn't a never-ending story.
Yes.
So you took that joke?
Sort of.
Okay. Yeah, that's basically what it was.
They did it a lot funnier.
Yeah. Yours was pretty good because you sounded. It was one of those genuine moments where you're like, "How can there be another never?" I was like, "Oh yeah, there is." Well, it's never ending.
So you liked it.
You sound like some little kid.
So you took joy.
It's the equivalent of. Do you think that could happen in real life?
So you had joy from that comment. It was worth making.
Well, it's just I couldn't believe you're going to ring that bell again. I got to be honest.
Why not? I'll keep ringing it. Anybody brings up this movie, I'll go, what?
There's 2 of them? How is that possible?
Hello?
It's never ending.
You sure there isn't 3?
Uh,
For all we know, the movie's still going on. We just haven't seen it.
That's true.
So how is this movie popular and in the zeitgeist? I think it was because you didn't see many things like this. And I will say, very ambitious. Even though there was almost no effort put into the script as far as story and anything making sense. The effects in this, while cheesy, they were reaching for anything they could do. Because to have this, I don't know if they didn't have enough money or what, but even like this dragon, it was basically a head and a long neck that you sat on.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of composite shots where you could see they kind of filled in sort of
composite.
Where it looks like all of a sudden the
I
kid
know
ain't
what
anywhere
composite
near.
means.
Oh, you do?
Joke.
Oh, professor.
A little joke. Every time I use a big word, you're like, "Woo!"
Look who summa cum laude.
Yeah, I actually in my literature class, my film and lit class.
Oh, literature.
We had to watch a movie and talk about the camera angles, and it was my least favorite.
How is that literature? That sounds more like
film and lit.
Oh, it was called film and lit?
Yeah. You did literature stuff and applied it to a movie. It's still a story.
All right, take it
at the
easy.
End of the day. But we did have to do a thing about, well, what does this camera angle make you feel?
Well, yeah, that's sort of the science of movie making.
Yeah, we had to do that, and it was probably my least favorite because I didn't know any of the vocabulary. We had to have a sheet that had
You need a film class, is what you
basically, yeah. I'd love to take a film class.
Right.
That'd be great.
You get to learn parallax. You get to learn mise en scène.
I would love to take a film class, but I am never going to need a film
You get
class.
to learn verisimilitude,
I should have done it earlier, but
which this movie had almost none. That's all I know.
cool. Wide shot.
I know. Yeah, I guess I know that. We were watching something yesterday where something bad happened and the camera went, and the guy went.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, that was
That's what you're
good.
supposed to do. How does that make you feel?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about this?
No.
Well, more importantly, what do they have to say about it?
What do you have to say about the never ending story? I think it's also a nostalgic piece for a lot of kids.
Probably, yeah, it would be around my age or a little bit smaller,
I think
or anybody who watch it. Really,
people might be nostalgic for it.
that's sort of the beauty of what we call home video.
Mm-hmm.
Is nothing goes away.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it does go away because they don't really port everything, but
It's somewhere out
something
there.
like this is still around. And if you can
Yeah.
find these discs, the whole point of buying those laser discs was to look for something that was forgotten or not watched. And here is the whole reason. Here's something I would never watch.
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason this was on some streaming service, which I don't know that it is, I wouldn't even look.
Nope.
If it was on cable, whatever that is,
Mm-hmm.
you'd just flip the channel. This is the kind of movie you think you'd see on like Tubi or one of those. What's that Pluto TV where they just run movies all day long?
Yeah.
And I would go to the next channel.
Yeah,
Nope.
I wouldn't have
I want
watched
to
this.
see Oops My Nuts. Go over to that channel.
Oops, my nuts.
Oh, you don't get the reference?
I don't.
You ever see the
Sorry.
movie Idiocracy?
It's been a while.
So in the future, movie theater has basically been distilled down to this guy just keeps getting hit or kicked in the nuts.
Okay.
And that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they just sit there in the theater laughing at each time.
That's basically like another Simpsons bit. You remember the guy who finally they had that Burns had that movie thing where everybody came with their independent
Right.
films.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Boing.
Boing.
Yep.
It was the football.
That was the one that won the football. Yes. And I don't remember which one of those came out first. Probably The Simpsons.
Probably.
We should really discuss those episodes too. I know we
Didn't
started
we?
to,
Yeah.
and Fox came after us because we were showing the video.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do it like this, where people just have to know the episode,
Yeah, that's kind of lame.
it is. But you could certainly tell your favorite jokes.
I don't want to start from the beginning though. I want to skip around to the
I think
best
we should
ones.
start with season 35 and go backwards.
No. I think we should go to the beginning and only cherry pick the best ones. The ones we think are the best ones.
That's tough because you'd have to watch them all. So the problem with Simpsons are
I've watched them all. I need a vague description of what the episode is. I can tell you if I really liked it or not.
right. But here's the problem, and it's a good problem to have. The Simpsons episodes are so densely packed with jokes that I get confused on which episode it was because there's an A, B, and C story, and any of those could be interchanged somewhere else. I could give you my 5 favorite Simpson jokes, and for all I know, they were all in the same episode.
Your favorite episode is the one where Homer goes to clown college.
I don't know if that's my favorite, but it's
the one that makes you smile every time.
well, I really like the one where Bart gets a fake license and drives to Tennessee.
Why?
It's just fun. I think that's really fun. He's going to a grammar rodeo.
No, they said they're going to a grammar
Right, but
rodeo.
that's
They're
still-
not
that's
going
funny.
to a grammar rodeo.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
They get wigs. Remember, he gets a fake license because he went and saw Patty and Selma at the DMV. And he made his own license.
Yeah, I do remember that actually.
And they had somebody's credit card, so they were getting, they could rent a car, and they took that. And I'm not sure. Is that the one where Homer has Lisa working with him, and they spend a bunch of time together, and then it turns out Homer has to turn him into like a medical courier to get home? I can't remember. See what I mean? I'm probably mixing 3 episodes right there. That's the impossibility of The Simpsons, season 1 through 10.
Yeah.
sprinklings of 11 and 12, and then that's it. It goes right off a cliff.
Remember the one where Ned Flanders comes and says, like, mobs over state lines or something? And
Yeah, that's so good. Homer, I need your help. Mom's been arrested at the Mexican border. And Homer goes, I really love to help you, but Marge got arrested at the border. Oh, so good.
Oh, come on. Let's watch Simpsons now.
Yeah, right.
I think
So
what
that's
we
it for
should go do.
NeverEnding Story, unless you have anything to plug on that.
I don't.
All right.
I'm
Thank you,
over it.
Laser Brains. We're going to go. And we don't, I'm sorry we're so negative on this one, but I like to concentrate on the positive of movies,
I know what
because
I
I love
like.
movies.
I don't like.
Right. And it's not, this is, by the way, it wasn't a horror show. There are movies that actually you turn off. This didn't get turned off.
It did not get turned off. We turned off that one. That weird.
Yeah, that 30s one.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm getting on this plane, see? Yeah, that ain't for me. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, aficionados out there.
I think kids' movies I can usually get through for the most part.
That says a lot about you.
To be fair, I was partly sleeping because I had a long day.
Right.
That probably had something to do with it.
Right. Me too.
But it probably also was not getting my interest.
Here's what I would say to you. I don't care how tired I am. A film deserves to be watched, and I would never sleep through it.
You've slept through. There was another movie we were talking about. You said you slept through part of it.
Right, but I was kidding.
That was Hitchhiker's Guide.
I might have fallen asleep
You said
through
you
a
fell
big
asleep
hunk of
during
that.
it, yeah.
That thing was like 5 hours, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Well, I would never sleep during a movie.
Well, I'm just kidding.
You're on film.
I am? Yeah. What movie?
I don't know. You know, maybe it's like NeverEnding Story where they're aware that somebody's reading them and we're watching them, but somebody's watching us.
What's that? Somebody sitting on a trumpet?
I was actually doing the that Christmas song. I probably should have.
All right.
I should have been doing NeverEnding Story. That probably would have made a little bit more sense.
I
don't know what that is. That's the one. I know that one.
That's it. All right, it's time to say goodbye.
All right.
So long, sailors.
Goodbye.
You got something nice to say about NeverEnding Story? Go ahead.
You done? Bye.